Hey everyone, thanks for joining us for another great training session. I'm Kevin Noel, broker, Watson Realty Corp. I'm excited to bring you a great training today on artificial intelligence or AI. We've had AI trainings before, but this is going to offer a different perspective in the world of artificial intelligence and how you can utilize it in your real estate businesses. So with that being said, let's jump in and learn about artificial intelligence.
So that was kind of so hard he came in here. So everybody give him a warm welcome. So
thanks, Gary. I appreciate being here.
Sit down if you need anything.
Yeah, no. So everyone, thank you so much. I know that everyone's extremely busy, and so taking time out of your day to, come here and learn more about AI. I know one can be scary, and then two, obviously, you guys are busy. One of the questions I get, kind of the elephant in the room, why is a mortgage guy, one, here, and two, why is he talking about AI? So real quick background about me, other than I've got my lovely wife, also teammate, loan officer, Courtney. We both tag around and tag team together in the business. But my background, I spent many years in aviation as director of training for a Fortune 20 company. So a lot, the same setting, I was with pilots, flight attendants, mechanics, teaching about various automations. And so kind of my background is in this, and obviously something like this is very, I love coming out and doing this. Again, it gets us away from the computers and helps equip, because our team looks at working with realtors. We want to be a partner and a peer. We just don't want to quote rates. We don't just want to talk about programs. We want to help build your business and help you become more successful, okay? So I get the elephant out of the room. AI. It's crazy, but one of the things I want to ask is kind of get a kind of survey here as far as your level of comfort with AI. So here in the room, who would consider being kind of an expert where you have it integrated in your business on a daily basis? It's okay. Awesome. Zero. Okay, zero. Novice, how many of you have heard of like ChatGPT? Maybe have a login?
No, I haven't done it yet. Gary.
Okay, so Gary taught you. Awesome. And then pretty much everyone here maybe has heard of AI, or what is AI? If you're like me, I came from the Midwest. AI meant something totally different that had nothing to do. Again, we're in the Midwest. We had livestock, and AI meant something completely different. And we're not going to talk about that today. So, give you a little trivia, because a lot of the questions I get is, why in the world are we talking about AI in real estate? So, back in 2022, I think it was November, NAR came out with a survey. They were curious as far as, is AI going to impact the real estate industry? Maybe you're familiar with it. So the question was, what percentage of real estate agents are currently using AI in their business? This is almost a year ago now. What percentage
50.
do you think? 50%?
Like
5? 15?
25, maybe 25.
Yeah, so I think I heard 15. So, right, age. So it's somewhere, it depended on, where some was reporting 15, some was 17%, but again, slim percent. But then the follow-up question was, how many, the percentage that feel that they want to use AI in their business? It was over 70% of realtors that were surveyed. So again, this is on the cutting edge of integrating this into your business. So again, it's brand new, but and we've been doing this class, this year, going out and helping equip real estate agents. And it's interesting that we'll see everyone's kind of in the same boat. We've heard of it, some are using it, but some are like, what is it? I think out of all of them, we've had one that he was like, hey, did you know that you can go into ChatGPT and put all your ingredients in your refrigerator, and it will spit out all the different recipes that you could make that evening? So anyway, we'll teach you how to do similar things, but with real estate. So one of the questions we get is, will artificial intelligence replace my job? Okay. It's replacing a lot. And we'll answer that and get your opinion on that towards the end. So today, we're going to take about an hour. We'll talk about the chat bots. I'll talk about trimming your to-do list specific to you as a real estate agent. Then we'll dive into harnessing the power of AI for audio visual. Those that like to do social media, post reels, we'll talk about that. And then lastly, what does that look like for the future? So I get a lot of questions about robots. And so I figured I'd show a quick commercial from our friends. Who feels that commercial as far as kind of scared about robots? It's
relate to 'em?
yeah. Can you relate to him? It's funny. I was texting my sister. She's a school teacher in Iowa over the weekend. I said, "Hey, have you heard about ChatGPT?" She's like, "What is it?" I said, "Well, it's AI." And she's like, "I'm scared of AI." And I mean, she's about 10 years, well, 5 years younger than me. But anyway, so I mean, it's scary. I said, "Well, just step into it." And she's like, "Okay." So about 5 minutes later, I told her how to sign up, and she's like, "Wow, this is easy. It's simple." So again, hopefully when we get the end here, it will help ease some of your anxiety on AI. So, chatbots, ChatGPT, what is it? This is just a definition that actually ChatGPT wrote about itself as far as what is it. I'll give you a simpler explanation. You guys remember Iron Man?
Yeah.
Jarvis? Mm-hmm. So when Iron Man had a question, what did he do? He asked Jarvis, right? If Jarvis didn't understand the question, what did he say? He's like, "Yeah, would you please repeat the question?" Guys, this is what AI is. This is what ChatGPT is. It is your Jarvis. And we'll talk about prompts, but when Iron Man asks a question, that's the prompt that you're going to ask AI. And if they don't understand the question, you want a different version, you just say, "Hey, I want you to please repeat." Okay? So OpenAI, they were the developers of ChatGPT. And the question is this really the next biggest thing on the internet? Well, if you take a look here, to reach 100 million users, Netflix took 10 years to reach 100 million users. TikTok took 9 months, but ChatGPT took 2 months to reach 100 million users. Look over here over my notes because it's interesting that ChatGPT has 1.8 billion users per month. 1.8 billion users per month. You know, there's actually a new subset of jobs out there called chat engineers that sit behind there and help develop prompts. It's Time Magazine did an article back in April, and I think the starting salary is $300,000 for prompt engineers. So again, it's pretty crazy what's out there. So OpenAI, it's one of the many types of AI out there as far as for ChatGPT. They partnered with Microsoft. Microsoft actually invested $10 billion into OpenAI. And so you probably are seeing it if you guys use Office 365, which I think you do. You're probably seeing in the lower right-hand corner integration with AI as far as asking questions. And Bing is also one of the search engines for OpenAI. Take a look at the comparison. So there's two different types of, we're talking about ChatGPT, which is one type of artificial intelligence that people are using. And there's two different types of ChatGPT. You have GPT-3 and GPT-4. The difference between the two is the amount of information that it provides you. So on the left, GPT-3 has 175 billion language parameters, but GPT-4 over 100 billion. It's going to mimic human interaction to a heightened level. It's going to provide more information to you.
Isn't one only up to a certain date?
Right. So GPT, between GPT-3 and GPT-4 or GPT Plus, is up until GPT-3 is up to 2021. So it's only as smart as September of 2021. The newer version or the paid version, which is at $20 a month, comes where it allows you to access the internet. So it's only as smart as 2021. So if you go in and ask a prompt on the free version, it'll say, well, I'm sorry, but I'm only as smart as 2021, or my machine has only have learned items up to 2021. One of the things that ChatGPT has are plugins. You guys, anyone iPhone users here? Okay. And Android. So we have what apps if we're an iPhone user? Well, think of plugins like an app. So on the paid version of GPT, you have access to these plugins. And it goes anything from travel, food, real estate, and it pulls in information using the internet to kind of narrow down your search. And Gary, I was pulling data. So when we did the class back in July, there were 688 plugins. So back at the end of July. As of this week, there are 957 plugins. And again, this really was launched November, December of last year. So it, as far as the speed at which GPT is accelerating, is crazy. And towards the end, I'm going to show you Zillow and Redfin are looking to integrate plugins. And the way that they integrate with GPT is pretty amazing. Now, you may think that, hey, that's going to put me out of business, but I'll kind of show you how it's going to help enhance the way you show up in the marketplace.
Where is this plugin store at?
Yes.
It's on, let me see here. I think I'll go to the next one. So it's on the, do you have the paid version?
Mhm.
Okay, it's only on the paid version. Again, they want you to pay that $20 a month. So there's always a catch. One of the things about GPT is that you can tell it to, up until recently, you would have to tell it, again, back to those prompts, you'd always have to tell it, I need you to act as a real estate agent. I need you to act as, if you were a teacher, or I need you to act as a mom if you're going to send an email to, your son or daughter. This will actually, you can tell it who you are and it will remember it. So every time you ask it a question, so like Jarvis knew that who Iron Man was. He knew all of his capabilities. So he didn't have to say, hey, Jarvis, I'm Iron Man and I need you to do X, Y, and Z. Well, here now, GPT has accelerated to where with the paid version, you tell it who you are. So I'm a real estate agent in Fleming Island. These are the areas that I serve. These are my specialties. This is my history and so forth like that. So every type of response that it gives, it is based on that information that you have taught it to learn about you. Bing, also with that $10 billion infusion from Microsoft, Bing is the default search engine for ChatGPT. If you use Microsoft Edge, you've probably seen towards the lower right-hand corner is the integration with chat, so you can actually ask it questions. Now, depending on the level of your service with Office 365, it is a paid version. Depending on I think it's through the enterprise. You can actually, you will pay for it, and it will give you unlimited access. Otherwise, I think you can ask it 4 questions per day for free on that. But again, just another version of AI that's out there for you. Talking about ChatGPT, if you go to the App Store, if you are an Apple user, there are a lot of companies out there that make you think they're OpenAI, but they cost. So when you're looking there, oops.
What happened there? Just take that mouse there.
Oh. Here we go. Sorry. When you're looking for ChatGPT on the App Store with your phone, you want to look at the official app by OpenAI. It's free, the initial version. All the others, there's some that will charge you X number of dollars or a monthly service fee. But obviously, look for the official OpenAI app. Now, that's ChatGPT, one of many AI software out there. Anyone here use Google? Anyone heard of Google Bard?
No.
Okay. So of course, Google's not going to sit on the sidelines. They want a piece of this AI action. So Bard is their competition. So if you go to bard.google.com, you'll come up with a screen here. It's free as long as you have a Google account. And I know you guys are taking notes. Just to let you know, I'll see if Gary can at the end send me your email addresses, and we'll get out these slideshows, and also there's a few other things that I'll send to you just so to try to help you, on this AI journey. So Bard actually just within the past week has changed kind of the way that they look. So they're now can help understand, create, and explore different items that you ask. So here, when you go to Bard, you just ask the question. So remember, Iron Man asked Jarvis a question down here at the bottom. You would just ask your question. I want real estate stats, and hit enter, and it's going to search the internet and give you stats. Also, Bard now allows extensions, which are just like apps, where you can search flights, hotels, and again, it's very basic right now, but I would assume very much like ChatGPT, there's going to be the integrations are going to increase. One scary, to me it's scary, is that if you have a Google account, you can actually turn on your Google Drive, your Gmail, and have Google Bard go through and basically tailor every answer based on what it knows about you through Gmail and Google Drive.
That is scary.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I did all this in
Including your
Wow.
photos that you take.
Yeah. So
It'll
it's
catalog your photos of what you're taking your pictures of.
It's-
It'll analyze it, it'll AI produce it, so they'll figure out if you're taking a lot of real estate pictures.
What-
obviously you're a real estate marketer, if you're doing things for cat videos, it's gonna categorize you that way as well.
it's
So it thinks enough that it's very scary.
as you can tell, there's a screenshot of mine. I don't have mine on. Not saying I don't embrace AI, but again, it's your personal preference. So
I have a question.
Yes.
What about ChatGPT and Facebook? Because Facebook is Microsoft
right.
integrated, so it's kind of the same.
Right now, there's no integration as far as it only it will remember who you are when you've put in the information section where it tells you to learn. But right now, it's my understanding there's no integration across platforms because like if you go in on a specific term and ask it a question, it will not remember a previous conversation that you've had. For example, if if you say you had communicated with a client, say 3 prompts ago, and it's on a different thread, I call it thread, it won't look back at that. It will only know what's in front of you on that. So this is what Google Bard would give you if the prompt was, give me the real estate market stats for Jacksonville for August of 2023. So it would bring up, so that's the prompt at the top. Here's the answer. Here are the market stats for 2023, median sold price, price per square foot, days on the market. Here are the trends. One thing I like about, and we'll show you ChatGPT here in just a second. One thing I like about Bard is it gives you 3 different drafts. And so you can click on these 3 different drafts and will present you, it's supposed to be the same stats, but just in a different format. The nice thing about the recent change to Bard is you can kind of see this green highlight here. If you can click on it, it will actually take you to the reference of where it pulled that information. Again, a lot of times when this first started coming out and people were using AI, they weren't backing up. They just go into ChatGPT and say, hey, I want the stats for X. And then they would do a social media post on, hey, the stats for July were sales were up by 20%. Well, they didn't verify that information. And you'll see here in just a second when we do a listing description how sometimes it will artificially insert fake information. So again, always verify what you're putting out there.
How accurate is that? Is that pretty accurate?
Well, I mean,
Have you looked at it?
yeah, I mean, as far as, I don't know, because here, I'll show you. I think I did,
It looks pretty close.
but I think I did the same question because I just changed it this week. I think I did it for ChatGPT. Here, let me switch here. Yeah. So here, same question. ChatGPT. So median sold price $297,660. Median sold price $395. Now, that one was, I think, let's see, no, two. This is from, it pulled it from this, whereas I have to go back and look to see is where it referenced that home data. Again, it could be correct. Maybe it just depends on where it pulled the data from, and maybe it was Jacksonville versus maybe this was St. Johns County or Clay County.
Put one of those estimate disclosures down at the bottom of this time you post them.
I'm sorry.
So you need to put one of those
Right.
disclosures down at the bottom of your post.
Right.
Might be off by 35%.
Yeah, just small details. So again, be careful, but this gives you an idea. This is the ChatGPT interface if you're not been on GPT before. Ask the question at the bottom. Here's your history over here. So you could go to, if you remember looking up, like, trying to think there, I went real estate virtual class. I had, loan underwriting update. I provided an update to the underwriting. The thing is, I just type in a couple of keywords and boom, there's an update to the loan. And so I can go back there, click on it, and just change some of the items and update it in a matter of seconds. So the differences between GPT and Bard, it kind of just gives a quick overview. The big thing I want to point out is, one, GPT, free for the classic version, $20 a month for the Pro, the upgraded version. Accessibility, there's actually Android and iPhone based on the GPT. So there's an app on there. Whatever you look on your desktop, you can actually bring it as far as go back to your phone and look at it as well, and you can cut and paste and so forth like that. So give you an idea. One of the big things that Gary brought up again is on the classic version for GPT, you're limited up to 2021 for now on the information that it will bring in. I wanted to provide just a screenshot of Bing because obviously Microsoft has a big stake in ChatGPT. There's a lot of discussion whether Microsoft, as far as kind of how they're going to be on this battleground. But here is one of the prompts that I went into using Bing and Microsoft Edge as far as I wanted the current climate for Jacksonville, Florida. And here gives another option for grabbing information that also gives you, okay, here's where it pulled all the information. And what I'm doing here is, again, I'm not expecting you guys to walk away with, okay, this is how I'm going to use this next. If you just take one piece of this and apply it to your business or apply it, anywhere, again, it's just helping take that step forward because you're going to be far ahead of most realtors out there right now that maybe can spell AI. They know it's out there, but they're too scared to take that step. Again, I don't want you to be scared of it. Lots of alternatives to ChatGPT. It's going to change on a daily basis. It's more a personal preference. I know ChatGPT, Bard are kind of your top two out there, but there's many other types of AI as well. So was that helpful to provide kind of an overview of the two different GPT and Bard? Okay. So again, try not to get too much in the nuts and bolts of it. But now what I would like to do is we'll take it next step further. And now we're going to talk about how you can use AI to expand your business, increase revenue, and give you more time. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to trim your to-do list. So who here loves to write listing descriptions? Okay.
I have a degree in English, and I'm a very, very avid reader, so it's just not a problem.
Right. It's funny, my last class, we had someone that was a professional copywriter for elected officials, and he was, now a realtor. And, he raised his hand, he's like, I can knock it out in no time flat. And I said, well, I'm curious, because he uses GPT on a regular basis, and he's like, I use it all the time. So it's just interesting to hear varying perspectives on this. But as far as like review requests, who here, when was the last time you updated your team bio or your bio on the website? Here, this is so simple. Take the bio that you have, go home. When you go on GPT or Bard, again, you don't need to pay for any of this. Take it in there and just tell it to refresh. You'll read it and go, holy cow, I've just impressed myself. It's amazing. So website copy, if you're building your website, there's lots of help there. Buyer seller guides, checklists, but let's look at listing descriptions. So I'm curious, I know that you said your background in English, you can whip a listing description out in no time flat. For those that maybe don't have that background, how long does it normally take you to do a listing description? Okay.
Too long.
Too long, right? So this, ChatGPT did the listing description. The prompt was, I wanted a listing description with a house, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, master suite, jacuzzi tub. I know you're not supposed to say jacuzzi tub. Waterfall shower, meditation room, climbing wall. Boom. This is what it came back with in 30 seconds. Now the thing is you're reading it and you're like, I don't really like it. So the nice thing about GPT is you can, and I kind of snipped it off, but as far as I want a different version. So here you go. Here's another version. Spacious 4-bedroom, 3-bath house, master suite, meditation room, in just a matter of seconds. Remember when I said make sure you read and verify the information? Because in the top prompt, I said nothing about a garage. But guess what? Other highlights included to her garage. So read and verify. Read and verify because
If you put the address in, sometimes it'll pull your listings or the old listings from the internet, and it'll put the stuff in there for you automatically. So yeah, you should read it.
You also can limit the quantity of words.
What's that?
You can limit the quantity of words. You can say,
Right.
I want a description in no more than
Yeah.
200 words.
Yeah.
Exactly. You
When
can.
I put it in, I turned around and got 6 different versions. Of course, I was adding stuff all along because
Yeah.
I had no idea what I was doing. So I ended up with a page, but I took what normally took me an hour. So
Yeah.
Took me 20 minutes.
Exactly. So that gives you an idea. So here what we're going to do is, we'll show you this in real time. So this is a real listing. That's the address. And so the prompt is, you're a real estate agent with a new listing, write an engaging property description. Boom. So I cut and paste that. I'm going to put this into GPT. So I take that, I put this in the bottom of the prompt. I'm going to go in here and click enter. And watch how fast, if you've never used this before, watch how fast it's going to give you a listing description.
Need the larger prompt.
So welcome to your riverfront paradise. Boasting, 5,500 square feet, expansive 5 bedrooms, it's impressive, large riverfront lot. Boom.
That's amazing.
And then once it gets done, you read it, you're like, okay, it's okay, but I want a little different version. It will come down here and it'll say regenerate response. Right there. You can hit that again, and it will redo the entire listing description for you.
You can't edit it yourself. Then.
You can not within GPT, but you can copy and then paste it into a Word document.
On the phone version, you can edit it as you want.
Right.
You can click edit, you can change whatever you want, add, subtract, that sort of stuff, and then repost and have it back in there and say, make this more grammatically correct, and it'll re-edit you again.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then once you get down here, now this is saved under your history. So, pro tip, under your listing descriptions, have you ever met with a seller that just will not stop talking about their home and about how every feature is so unique and how no other house has it.
Yeah.
Well, here's something, and maybe you already do this, is give them a link to a Google form and ask them, if you would, I utilize AI in my business. So one, you're showing that you are on the cutting edge. You're far ahead of the 17% that are currently using it. And I want you to help me. Everything that you love about that home, pretty much every buyer is going to love about that home. Have them go into the Google form, fill out everything they love about that form. Then you take that, you throw it into ChatGPT, and now your seller has collaborated with you to write the listing description. Now, whether you use it or not is obviously your decision, but it helps them feel more a part of the selling process. And most likely, the items that they love, your buyers are going to love too. Open house previews. Anyone do open house previews for the neighbors? You know, the nosy neighbors that come by on the open house days for everyone else and want the ice creams and whatever else that you have. Just to kind of, well, how about you just send out a letter to them and inviting them to just a unique neighborhood open house preview, just for them, because most likely they have relatives, friends. I mean, again, everyone wants to move to Northeast Florida. So they probably have a friend or a family member that wants to move here. So have them write a letter encouraging them to be part of the open house. So anyway, very similar. The prompt was in a casual but professional tone. Again, we'll talk about prompts. I'll give you a 90-day prompt guide to kind of how to structure those prompts. But write a brief letter introducing a neighborhood property in the highly sought out neighborhood. End with a call to action. Again, we tell them, okay, how do we want to end this message? And here we go. Exclusive invitation, open house preview. Dear neighbor. Boom. Can you start to think? And I know some of you are already diving into this, but for those that haven't, can you see how much time this could save you? I was talking with a real estate agent one day, and he called me up about something, and I had mentioned, using ChatGPT, and he's like, well, I've been, agent for 20 years. I sit down, I write my letters, I write my emails, but then he commented and said, I am slammed. He's like, I've got to do this between listing appointments. I said, do you realize that I just cranked out 3 emails in a matter of 5 minutes? And he's like, really? And he couldn't believe it. I said, okay, let's sit down and let's go over this. And so now he's looking at using that in his business because he's, again, trying to get back time. So that's how you can use it for listing descriptions, websites, bios, okay? So now we're going to talk about how you can revolutionize your reach. Anyone here on social media?
Try to be.
Okay, try to be. Who here struggles with posting on social media? Just curious, how often, as far as for those that post on social media, how many often post more than 3 times a week? Maybe? Let me give you a stat that I find interesting. So a lot of people, as far as agents and loan officers that have been in the business for a while, we don't advertise. It's all word of mouth. I get that. But there's a stat out there that says if you are referred out, 70% of the people that you're referred out to are going to go immediately to the internet. And they're going to see, are you someone that they can trust, that they like, and what is your presence on the internet? And so, because a lot of pushback, because we have social media classes that we present and we talk about social media. And the biggest thing is, well, I don't need to be on social media, or I don't need to be active on social media because I have plenty of business coming through the door. People refer me out all the time. And I said, that's great. But I don't know if you're like me, but if someone gives me a restaurant recommendation and they say, we just ate there, you've got to try it. What do? I immediately go to Yelp. Again, even though it's someone that I trust that recommended that to me, I'm going to go in, I want to hear, I want to know as far as what is the experience like. And so trust me, social media, because I've had seasoned agents talk to me that, hey, listen, things are slow. I get that. I know this is a slow time of year. But then I ask as far as, what is your social media? Are you out there on social media? And they're like, no, I'm not. Or I have, corporate type of social media that gets sent out once a week. I'm like, again, is your social media to the point where someone goes on there and they feel like, yeah, I've got to do business with you. So again, something I didn't talk about last time, but something I'm passionate about is I want to see you guys succeed. I know there's a ton of agents out there. There's a ton of loan officers out there. And I want to see everyone succeed. And this is something using ChatGPT, using AI with your social media can be a game changer, especially for those that know that you want to be there, but you just struggle. So let's dive into this. So using it to focus on the property. So remember on the River Bluff Drive, it did a listing description and we had it. So now what I do is in that same thread, my prompt is take this property description and create an Instagram post. Here's the key thing. Include relevant hashtags and emojis with a call to action and DM me for more information. And this is what it popped up. So it took the listing description that we already had it worked out. And here is your Instagram post, cut and paste into Instagram with your picture. How long? 30 seconds, maybe it take? And we're talking about as far as creating engagement. So you don't know what to post. Well, just ask ChatGPT or Bard or your AI of choice. I want you to create 3 engaging posts highlighting the top 5 benefits of living in Jacksonville. So here you go. So I'm going to go to, you were asking as far as how do you go from 3 to 4 from the paid version? At the top, it'll say GPT-3, GPT-4. And you click on GPT-4, then also bring down the plugins. And you can go to plugin store, and it's a rabbit hole. So here are 3 engaging social media posts. So before this, you'd sit down and try to figure out, yeah, I'm sorry.
Is there a way to make it bigger?
Well, there is, not on this screen, but as far as like your computer, that certainly you can change, just like if you're at your desktop. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm just trying to do a full screen share. But yeah, absolutely. You can make it bigger and smaller, whatever you're. So here, within a matter of 30 seconds, are your next 3 social media posts. All you have to do is cut and paste. If you're into YouTube and you're curious about prompts, it will give you YouTube keywords and prompts. It'll also give you a coaching moment. Talk about incorporating these keywords into your video titles can enhance your visibility. So it's here coaching you. So if you ever have a question, hey, I'm thinking about starting a YouTube channel. What are ways that I can get involved in it? What are ways that will attract viewers?
You're sending the slides later?
I'm sorry?
You're
Yes.
sending that?
Yes, I will. Absolutely. Absolutely. Another possible prompt is you want to be on YouTube or you want to create a reel, like a 3 or 4 series reel about staging. Again, showing your potential clients how you go above and beyond staging their home. But you're like, yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say about doing the videos, make sure you also ask it about doing B-roll ideas, which gives you ideas of what to cut into the pictures and videos as you're going through.
Absolutely. Great point. Great point.
Which is, if everybody doesn't understand what a B-roll is, if you've seen it, I guarantee it. If you see a TV show, you see them talking back and forth, and then all of a sudden it cuts to another scene in which they move from one location to another. It's that drive time video that you see them driving, that there's nothing there except for sound. It's the transition screens that you see in between. And if you set that up, when you're setting up your videos, you can actually make it look more professional and easier to understand what you're doing in the video.
Just more than you standing in front of the camera and, as far as you're talking about Jacksonville, and as you go into, for example, all the benefits of living in Jacksonville, you're seeing, you know, a video of a aerial shot of downtown area. Then you're seeing beaches and you know, things like that. So again, you get very creative as much as you want on video. But if you're talking about staging and you'd love to talk about it, but you just don't want to write a script about it, well, here you can ask ChatGPT about writing a video script of staging. So this I took from the iPhone. So remember I mentioned that there is an app that you can use for ChatGPT. So you can just put it in the bottom there. You can actually speak. That's one thing I like is you can speak, just like, you know, voice to text. You can voice to GPT and say, I'm a real estate agent and I want to create a YouTube video. It didn't hear me correctly because it said how to stage your home. But that's okay. It understands what I meant. And so here's your script.
That's the app, that picture right there is the app.
It is. It's a screenshot of my iPhone. One of the questions you were talking about, seeing where it misunderstood me when it said stager. One of the things that I've been asked is, okay, well, what about pronunciation? So I got lazy one day, and I'm just like, I'm not going to care about pronunciation. I don't care about mistyping. I'm just going to go crazy. It does help, but it yields almost the same result. So again, I'm not trying to get lazy. I know Courtney, my wife, keeps telling me that she's like, you know, got to be careful. Can't rely on GPT. I'm like, I know. I like to test the boundaries of GPT to see what happens. So that's a little bit as far as on videos. Another pro tip: turn research into social media posts. I'm going to show you how to do that towards the end here, but it's pretty cool, or I think it's cool. Okay, lastly, we're going to ignite efficiency with using AI. Emails, SMS, team communication, presentation outlines, and lastly, we'll talk about research. So, who here sends emails to obviously prospective home buyers? What about on the day that they close? You know, you've got a million things going on. You're headed to, you know, getting ready to close. You know, the closing's the end of the day. I know you've already talked to them, but you want to send them, hey, listen, I'm so excited to see you here. If you don't have an email that you normally send out, you can send it out in 30 seconds. You can send it on your phone, even a text message. Give some relevant emojis with that. Sellers looking to relocate, but here's the prompt, and we'll talk about prompts and what you can do with it. Need a professional email on why to choose me, but with a little edge. That little edge is key, because now it's not going to be just professional. It's going to kind of like, this is why you need to use me as your agent. Or if you want a little bit softer tone, if you know that the individual, you need to approach them kind of, you know, very gently, then hey, I need to write a professional email, but very soft tone on why they want to choose me over this other real estate agent. So here is a sample email that it created on buying day. Start packing early. Again, hopefully these are just giving you ideas to spark as you're going back home and you sign up for GPT of what you can do and what the possibilities are. Now, there are multiple what they call plugins and extensions with your internet browser. There's a ton out there. Some of them cost money, some of them don't. What does that mean as far as on extensions? So this is called Keywords Everywhere. It's an internet extension for Chrome, and basically what this does is this allows you then to tell GPT what you want it to act as and the type of output. So here I have it under professional realtors. This is an email outreach template. Buy and prospect type, call to action, and then kind of what you want the template to do. It will actually, you can tell it who to act, how to act, and give it some information. And this is kind of the next level of what it would do. Again, all this is free.
How does it find
Where do you
people?
find that?
As far as you can just, I just Googled this as far as templates everywhere. I found I was going through social media, and actually Courtney sent to me, this was yesterday, someone was doing a post on, she was a real estate agent. She's like, yeah, if I use this and da-da-da-da. Found out she was promoting her $20 prompt program, but I did find that this was free, and so I started looking at it, and it's very interesting how you can, again, it's just another level. I don't want to make everyone feel like, hey, listen, I've got to do all of this. Again, it's just another level. As you start kind of going down that rabbit hole of AI, there's all these different things that are going on. Again, this is just skimming the surface. And again, this is, I don't know if you guys were at Ari Bar Camp last January, where they had the featured speaker come in and talk about, GPT, and everyone's like, what? And, here we are, almost 10 months later, and this is just the beginning of GPT. Buyer consultations is another option you can. Oh, I'm sorry.
To this slide again.
Yeah.
I just got a question.
Yeah.
Where do you put this email in at?
So this actually, you're telling through this extension, you're telling it who you are, how to structure the email, and then you put in what kind of template you want it to be as far as kind of the details. You hit execute, and then it will generate the actual email for you.
But where do you put the email? Who do you send it?
Well, then whoever.
It'll find people?
No. It's not finding people. It's creating the template for you
Or
then
you
to
put it
use.
to send to your
Correct.
clients, okay.
Correct.
And that's a paid version of ChatGPT now, is a regular.
Right.
free version.
Because you're.
That's an extension of one of the things
Yeah.
you get in.
'Cause I know like Facebook and YouTube and those have the AI
Right.
go after
Right.
get a buyer that's looking for a house.
No, and it was interesting. We were at a seminar last week, and obviously there's this is a whole new subset of businesses and individuals, and he is super young guy. He's local here in Jax. He's got video company, but also he's going off into AI, and he was talking about acquiring customers and basically the whole customer experience. I'm not saying it would work here with real estate, but just the whole customer experience is AI, and most people wouldn't even know it, which is pretty crazy. I know I had communicated with him a little bit on the front before we went to the seminar, and the whole time I'm thinking, is this AI generated? Not that I could tell it, but I've just wondered because I know how busy he is, and then he let everyone know that, hey, yeah, all that was AI generated. And you would have thought that was all personal email interaction back and forth. Buyer consultations, another option that you can use. Listing presentations. We're talking about research. So here's a real live example on the mortgage market. I get an email, a couple times a month from someone in the industry. Super smart guy, way over my head. And so one day I said, I'm curious, what if I take his email, throw it into GPT, and dumb it down for me?
Yeah.
Guess what? So it did not take the graphs yet. It'll be there. I mean, there's some form that you can upload, but so I took that and I said, okay, I need you. I should have kept the prompt, but I just said basically, make this to where I can understand it. And so it took his multi-page email, put it into a paragraph. And so as far as now, I thought, okay, this is some good stuff. So then my next prompt was take this information and turn it into 3 social media posts. So here we go. Shelter inflation, CPI, shelter calculation, and then housing affordability. And I say, hey, I want 3 social media posts. I want relevant hashtags and emojis. So cut and paste, go on to Canva. We won't get in Canva today, but if you use Canva, go into Canva, have it create a nice little graphic. Boom, there you go. If you're not signed up on GPT, it's relatively easy. You're just going to sign up, put in your information. Again, you don't have to pay for it. I know that was one thing when I was talking to my sister. She's like, I don't want to pay for it. I'm like, trust me, it's free, unless you elect for the GPT-4. And this is kind of the initial page that you're going to get once you sign up. Again, this is your prompt, this lower half here, just like Bard, and just start asking questions. Again, all I just say is, hey, at the end of this class, when you go home, just go and start asking questions. Even if it's, hey, I've got this in my refrigerator. What can I make for dinner? The key back to, we're talking about Jarvis and Iron Man, was the questions. And so this is the key about GPT is, or BARD or whatever AI that you use, is writing effective prompts. Well, what better way to learn about writing effective prompts is ask GPT. So this was the response that GPT gave me. Now I'm going to give you I'll send a handout to everyone that talks about the different types of prompts and what you can do with the prompts. But here, keep a concise no, I know, number 2, it says proper grammar and spelling. Yeah, it's better that way, but you get the same result. Avoid ambiguity, specify context, use open-ended prompts. So that was a couple of months ago when I asked it. When I asked it this week, I said, what are the best tips to write effective prompts? Talk like a person, set the stage, assign a role. Again, you want to say, okay, what are you in? Are you a real estate agent? Are you a mortgage lender? Are you a parent? Provide examples, limits, and constraints. You're talking about word count. You can say, hey, I want you to write it in 150 words or 150 characters. Yeah. Pro tip, use the act as hack to specify what ChatGPT should act as: real estate agent, tutor, language coach. On the paid version, you can actually tell it to write in Spanish or whatever language.
It's a Spanish version.
Actually use it. Communicate with customers.
Where do you find it? In the same place?
No, I just say, write this in Spanish.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, again, because I don't speak it, I'll take it to Google Translate. I have it retranslate to make sure that what it translated into is actually what I was trying to say. So, because there are some things I'm like, that is not what I said.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to send you a copy of this. We're talking about prompts, tone of voice. So you're talking about listing descriptions, gives you ideas of what you can use it for, marketing, sphere of influence. So anyway, I'll send you here. But here, the tone of voice, this is the big thing. Play around with that, where it's edgy, informative, engaging. Talks about high net worth audience, luxurious, exclusive. You can actually ask it to make a rap. So I won't do this for you. Courtney says, do not sing for the group, so I won't.
Let's hear it.
No. So that was kind of the meat and potatoes, and I know we got about 7 minutes. I'm running long, but I'll try to wrap this up here real quick. So let's real quick talk about AI for AV, because those that are not on social media, you will be, and those that are on social media, I want to give you a few tips that will help elevate your presence on social media. Who here has heard of Adobe Podcast? Okay, so I love it. It's free. Adobe Podcast, and you'll hear it here. But this actually takes your iPhone. You see everyone that's posting on social media, they're in the podcast studio. It looks cool. I've done it. But what if you can actually sound like you're in a podcast studio, but with your iPhone? So
for Thursday, Adobe Podcast. Check it out if you're not currently using it. It is a free service and helps enhance your audio for any sort of video recordings. So you can go from I'm talking on an iPhone right now, it goes from audio from this, like this. The audio is very clear. It's almost like you're in a podcast studio without the enhanced mic. So again, Adobe Podcast.
What do you think about that?
Where do you download it?
That's pretty cool.
You just go to, I think it's, I forget, you just go to the website. It's Google Adobe Podcast. You have to have Adobe login. It's free. And again, there are a few steps. When you do your video, you're going to split out it sounds, after you do it a couple times, it's pretty easy, but you split out the audio, you drag and drop into Adobe Podcast, 30 seconds later, spits out the new file. If you use CapCut or iMovie or something like that, you match it back up and boom. So.
It works better on a computer than it does on your phone.
Yeah.
So it's still not matching up properly, but if you do it from a computer and you download the file, separate the audio file, you can put it back in.
Yeah.
And there's multiple different type of video platforms if you wanted to go back in and do it.
So.
Or to use as your primary thing. It doesn't matter if you have Windows or an Apple. You
Right.
can go back and forth on different things.
So it's
Cuts out sound in the background.
Oh,
so
it's-
a car driving by, or like wind in the
Yeah.
trees or something else like that. A dog barking, kids playing in the background. It really eliminates a lot of that. It keeps them just focused on their words.
So lot of cool tools out there. DALL-E, it's part of ChatGPT. Here's a example. Monkey astronaut riding a banana, and AI designed that picture. So again, it's taking what you would love to see, and again, this is just the beginning. Think a couple of years down the road where it could head. Opus Clip, those that like to do long form video. So let's say you're sitting, with your favorite lender, and you're talking about mortgage rates, or you're talking about how to get pre-qualified, and it's a 7-minute video. You take that, you upload that to Opus Clip. It will take that out into shorter reels, shorter clips than for you to post on social media. So again, I've talked to several realtors that use that. They love it. Cuts down their time. Descript, another program that many people use, where again, it's more of a video editing type program. One of the things, I was talking to Gary about this before. Anyone here have outdated headshots? Yeah. So here, anyone here use Try It On or something similar using AI?
Like on Amazon?
No, like this. Okay. So Try It On. There's many different AI programs out there, but basically you upload photos of yourself. They don't have to be where you were going to get your headshot taken. So what I did is I took Courtney, I went on my phone, and these are all pictures I've had Courtney, took of Courtney over the past year. She didn't know this when I was doing it. So I got in trouble later on. So you can upload 10 to 20 photos. I think it's $17.99. And it took about 30 minutes. And you can tell it, do you want business style? Do you want casual? Do you want business casual? Do you want, I think, Gary, you were all tatted up on one. It will ask you, color of eyes, color of hair. So these are the pictures that I uploaded Courtney, and this is what it gave us.
Wow, beautiful.
So $17.99. Now, I said they look like her. She disagreed. But so you can see where this is going. Whether you like it and you want to use it for your next headshot. But beware. Again, we were talking about AI earlier, where it took some liberties of, adding a garage when there wasn't a garage. And so there are, again, these are just probably a few of 100 that they sent us. AI gone wrong. That's not her, but that's what it sent us as a picture. Now, I did it. I had one gray eye, one brown eye. I had, my eyes were going each direction, and I didn't have time to upload those. So again, it's not perfect. She got a whole lot more pictures out of the $17.99 than I did. So again, try it on. Tactic, another great. Who here has been to a Zoom meeting and then gets off the Zoom meeting and doesn't remember a word that happened? Yeah. Well, here's what you can do is you can actually use Tactic is an AI an option here. It's a subscription based where basically you can upload the video from the meeting and it will break it up, give you a transcript. So again, it will actually, you go through and read, oh, I was supposed to do this. So Tactics 1, Synthesia. This is really scary, but it's kind of cool. Anyone heard of Synthesia? Okay, you've heard. So, Gary, you do a lot of training videos. Just imagine you having to do training videos, but not actually doing the training videos. But everyone thinks it's scary. So here, where you can have someone do it for you, as far as an AI-generated individual, you can upload your pictures and your voice, and they will not know what it is. So, for sake of time, I'm gonna go through this one, and I want to see if it'll play this one. Okay, if it'll play this one, this is actually from DC, Senator Blumenthal, talking about AI. I don't know if it's oh, I didn't download that one. It was supposed to be connected to the internet. But anyway, so what occurred here was he started to give a speech and then stopped. But over the loudspeaker, it was him. thing is, it wasn't him. It was in response. His question was to ChatGPT. What would his opening statements be to the hearing? And none of it was him. It was completely AI generated. And it was kind of funny. This other senator from Missouri was sitting next to him, and he was just laughing because he knew he wouldn't say any of that. But that's what ChatGPT thought he would say, and using a program like Synthesia would do. So again, what is this going to be like in the future? So adcreative.ai, again, you can go on there and it creates social media images that are supposed to get the most hits. So, and then we'll wrap it up here. What's next? You remember the iPhone? Or not the iPhone, but you remember cell phones?
Yes.
Okay. Anyone here had this brick?
Yes, I
Yeah.
did. That's how I dated my wife.
Again, don't hold me to this. I think as far as if we look at this as AI today, we're like here. Think of where we are, with the iPhone now, iPhone 15. I think we're somewhere here. This is where it's going, folks. Zillow, Redfin, they are